All right, enough waiting. Let's get into this, shall we? Sorry, people. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Let's get into it, shall we? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. We gotta do the, you know how it is with the curtains and stuff. Anyways, let's get into this. Sorry to keep you all waiting. We have, it's here. It's officially here. The March Madness bracket is officially here. And so what I thought I would do is kind of go over it a little bit, talk, yap about some thoughts and ideas that I have. Like, I'll just throw one out there. Kansas and St. John's are probably going to play each other, but I don't think Kansas has, the stuff to get it done. So probably St. John's, okay? We can blitz through all of it really fast. We can go slow or whatever. But, I don't know. I was watching the end of. I wanted to do a reaction, but didn't get to, which totally fine. But we got to do. Prime Fred Warner or Prime Bobby Wagner? Give me Bobby from a total unbiased Seahawks fan. Roll Tide. Ooh. I'd say Bobby Wagner too. I'd take a Bobby Wagner. I'd take a Prime Bobby Wagner. Okay. But I think I wanted to do a reaction, which I'm actually kind of surprised that from some of the predictions that I had when we looked at the SEC tournament, I was wrong about UConn, which I should have known. It's like, yeah, okay, they beat St. John's by 30. It's like, just know St. John's is going to have a plan for that. They're going to come back. They're going to whoop you up a little bit. And like, maybe I talked about that in the stream. I don't actually know it particularly. I also, funny enough, I feel like I predicted Miami, Ohio playing Tennessee. Like, no bullshit. Like, I could have sworn I said something, because the backhanded remark that I said about Miami, Ohio was, watch them win their conference, but then as a reward, they're the five seed, and then they have to go play Duke or Tennessee or someone as like the 2 seed or the 1 seed later down in the Sweet 16 or the round of 32. That's what I had. And then how it ended up being, where did they end up going? Oh yeah, they went right here as the 11th seed, and they're waiting to play Tennessee. I think, yeah, we'll get into it. Of course, I have some thoughts and opinions on just about everything, but if you guys enjoy basketball, be sure to hit that like button. And let's get into it. Sure, you can do that. The template is that one's been floating around for a little bit, and so that's why I made those edits, because I was like, you know what, I want to make it. I want to make a March Madness video. I might make a March Madness edit here, because it's time. You know what I mean? Like, it's March. You should make a March Madness. Like, I want to do. There's a. I don't even know how to explain it. It like a Family Guy meme. I want to do a Family Guy meme of like Peter, where Peter has his fall, like after he falls down the stairs, and like I kind of want to do one of those edits, and then like have the music to like March Madness playing, and it's like POV, your top rated team just got 30 dropped on them by an Ivy League school, and just like just something stupid like that. Because I mean, I'm looking at, for example, one team that I do not think's out of the woods, Bama. Watch now, Bama is gonna win this little quadrant here and stuff, but again, we're gonna make memes if Santa Clara. I don't know why. I have a feeling Santa Clara or Tennessee State, where it's like there's going to be someone who's just cold and lethal from the 3, where Kentucky should have won this, or Virginia as the 3 seed, they should have won it, and somebody just decided to go make 8 3-pointers and 5 of them were in the second half. And then look at that, Wright State gets to go play in Miami, Ohio, or something stupid like that. But yeah, go for it. Go for it. All right. No, thank you. Thank you. No, that's chill, man. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Um, let's get into it though. Because there are some one things. The first thing that I'm just gonna point out, because this is exactly what I thought when I watched this play out live, is the East is winning this whole thing. Like, okay, it's fun that we got some representation from the West and the Southwest. And oh, it's fun. We got Houston. Look at cute little Houston. Houston's our little 2 seed down here in the South. Florida, even though they got walked by Vanderbilt, they still get the number 1 seed, whatever. Whoever the hell comes out of the East is winning this whole damn thing. That's the first thing I want to get off my chest and just talk about. Because you look, Duke can win this whole damn thing. St. John's, Kansas, Michigan State, UCLA, and UConn. There are 6 teams that can win this whole damn thing. And we've seen, I mean, we saw how scary UCLA was. Because they beat Michigan State. Who's to say they don't do it again if these two meet up? We've seen how good Michigan State has been. We kind of act like the coaching and just kind of the culture of what UConn has been for the last 2 seasons, even though they couldn't get, I mean, they got it within 9 the other day against St. John's, but just because they lost to St. John's, they lost to the Big East, they're not going to, like, there are 16. And you can even throw out, I mean, if we have a 1-8 kind of upset, because we have had that in the past. The biggest one that I can remember and recall from recent memory, when Villanova lost to Wisconsin. Oh, look at that. An ACC or a Big East team losing to a Big Ten team. Not saying that Ohio State has the gas to get all the way to the final. But again, I would not be surprised to see Duke win it. I could see a Cinderella run where Ohio State does get to the Final Four. Not to be surprised if St. John's wins it, or Kansas, or like whoever comes out of the East is winning it. That's all I gotta say. Because I look over here at the Midwest, who, other than Michigan, Bama, no. Kentucky, no. Because again, Kentucky, all right, so Kentucky gets past Santa Clara, and then Iowa State. Okay, wow. Okay. Kentucky gets this far, okay? They upset Iowa. Who's to say that, like, if Miami, Ohio gets some upset, it has the makings of March Madness craziness where, like, all of them, it feels like you could chalk it up. Not this one too much. You can't chalk this one up too much. But, like, with the East, dude. And, like, with Duke being the number 1 overall, it's like, okay, that just has a huge target where if Duke doesn't get out of the Sweet 16, like, I don't know. Duke against UConn, that'd be something. So, I wanted to, we'll go through this here. Let me reset. Let me reload everything because we're starting over from the beginning, but we're going to go over some of the stuff. We're going to go over some of the picks. But then we'll talk about some other things. Like, I think, where is Purdue? Okay, Purdue at a 2. If I'm being honest, I think Purdue at the 2 seed kind of shocks me. I don't know. I don't know how Purdue got the 2 seed. Not saying that it's bad, because there's parts of me where, okay, let's look at who's the 4 seed. Arkansas. Arkansas won the SEC title. Why is Arkansas not the 2 seed, and Purdue can be the 3 seed? Or, because I don't know. Or why is Arkansas so low at the 4 seed? Well, I know Gonzaga won their tournament. Like, it's so. I don't know. It is so. Because everybody, like, for the last handful of days, we've been hearing about, oh, do they have quad one wins, quad two wins, losses, strength of schedule. Like, that's all we've been yapping about. And, like, there's just parts of me where, why can't, when it's all said and done, yeah, let's go here to the standings. So we have the regular season standings. Like, obviously, no 12 loss. All these teams that have more than 10 losses, it's like, no, you're out. Like Tulsa. Tulsa went 26-7. They're nowhere near the dance. Wichita 11 losses. They're nowhere near the dance. Um, Central Art. Oh, there's Queens. There's Queens. Okay. Um, there's Duke. There's Duke. Which, how funny is it that Duke? I saw this where it hasn't happened in history, but Duke and Virginia playing in both the football and basketball conference championships. That's pretty cool. Um, I don't know, but you take all the teams, and just go by win loss records, and then you also take championship, obviously. Like, okay, St. Peter's. Now, is St. Peter's what they were a handful of years back? No, but like they're 17-12, and would they compete? And I don't know. Just I guess I don't understand. I'll quit yapping. But guess what? What I guess I don't understand is qualifies what qualifies certain things over other things. Because the other thing too is, like, with, for example, Utah State. Utah State winning the Mountain West. What makes them a 9 seed after winning the Mountain West and having a pretty good, because they got the regular season in the Mountain West and they also won the title. What puts them as the 9 seed to play Villanova? Where will they probably beat Villanova? Yes, I will pick them over Villanova. But, like, their reward for, okay, if you get past Villanova, guess who's waiting for you? The number 2. Because if it was 1 all the way down to however many teams are in the 64, Duke is 1, Arizona's 2. Number 3, I would say, is not Michigan. Not Florida either. St. John's. You throw St. John's in there at number 3, even though they're ranked number 5. I don't know. Anyways, but then, yeah, putting them at 9. When, what if, like, what makes Wisconsin ranked higher? You know what I mean? Because it's like, Wisconsin's definitely going to be high point, but, like, what if instead for Utah State, we give them a little bit easier, or even BYU, where I don't know. I seriously do not freaking know. It's weird. I don't know the dealio with the seedings, but I'm yapping way too much, so let's just get into it. Let's just freaking get into it. I have no clue who would win out of Louisville and South Florida. Again, I have no freaking clue. I know there's some fun. Ooh, see a preview. Look at these stats. Look at what these stats tell you. Whoa, what the hell? Oh, so they beat the Hoosiers. Yeah, you know what? You know what all of this tells me? You can't win big games. That's what this is telling me. Is you had the chance to beat Duke twice. You lost both of them. You had the chance to beat Virginia. You lost. That's what that tells me. Now, what about UCF? Oh, oh, brother, they're not much better. You know what I want to do too? I also want to do a football one where we'll probably do a football bracket for fun. Oh, did I already? Sure. What the hell? I don't care because I'm gonna pick Sparty either way. UCLA, UConn, UConn. All right, that was easy. Hello, that was freaking easy. Um, I don't know how I feel about this Duke team because again, we always pick Duke to win it every year. Not me personally, but yeah. All right, let's move on. We'll come back to this. We'll come back. I think Florida. Uh, I'll, I don't know. Or for example, okay, how? Because again, with like ranting and raving, how the hell is the runner-up in the SEC with how stacked the SEC? How are they so low at a 5 seed? What makes them as the runners-up worse than a 3 seed Illinois? You know what I mean? Or if we want to like stretch it more, Miami's undefeated record in the regular season, even though yeah they went one and done in the conference tournament. Like what? Again, I don't understand at all why teams are put where they are. I really don't. Or Iowa State. Iowa State lost to Arizona at the buzzer. I will add that they were buzzer. But what? I mean, this whole side of the bracket, I'm not gonna lie, just seems like a cakewalk for Michigan. Because okay, we got an upset there or something. Texas Tech is gonna get far, but they're injury prone. They got they got a big injury on their team, and that is gonna affect them tremendously. So, anyways, we'll come back to that. But like, where I don't know, man. I'm like, some of these seedings are making me go, oh, okay, whatever. I'll put Nebraska here. I'll put Vandy there. Now, I say this jokingly because they did talk about it a little bit during the preview. If Nebraska cannot beat Troy after the historic season, you're going to beat me to it before I can even say it. If Nebraska cannot get this win against Troy, they will, mark my words, never win a tournament game ever. Ever. Like, because they talked about it in the broadcast where they said, Nebraska has had a historic season, but, and they emphasized, they have never won a game in tournament play. And then they also talked about how Tennessee, the coach for Tennessee, this is his 30th time in the dance. Because I believe he wasn't with Tennessee the whole 30 years, which if he has, I can do some quick fun research. But maybe he's been with other teams. But like this is his 30th time in the dance. I think that's pretty cool. But back to Nebraska, again, with how they started 20-0, lost a close one against Michigan. If they cannot beat freaking Troy, and this would be the year to do it because it's like, look at you. You had one of the best seasons in recent memory. Same with Georgia. This was the most wins Georgia's ever gotten in their history of basketball. If you can't beat Troy, that I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. North Carolina against VCU. I'm a little. There's injuries here. North Carolina's true freshman's injured. I don't know about that. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. I think Illinois. I don't like either of them because Houston's gonna be here. So whoever I pick, I St. Mary's got to the final against Gonzaga, so I'll pick St. Mary's. North Carolina versus VCU. I will pick. Now, North Carolina lost to Clemson. You know what? Give me a little upset here. Give me a little upset. Illinois also lost to. Illinois lost to Wisconsin in overtime. I don't like that at all. That one's. This is nasty. I don't. I don't freaking like this at all. This is grody. This is grody. This, I don't like how this is looking already. Oh gosh. Because here's the thing: you could have that St. John's UConn effect here, where we saw what happened. Vanderbilt was a buzzsaw, and then Florida comes back and gets revenge. But I don't like it. This is gonna be a fun game. This is gonna be a fun game. Because can I be honest? I think whoever wins this game is playing Houston. I really do. I don't know. We've talked about it a couple times. Um, I'm gonna pick Nebraska. I'm gonna pick Nebraska. I know it's really stupid to pick against Florida, considering Florida just won the national championship last year. But Florida, Duke, um, who else? Michigan. There are a handful of teams that have had a revamp of their whole roster, and I just don't see. Even though we've seen how Duke got another 30 plus win season under their belt with five new starting, new brand new fresh starting five, and they won the ACC. So it's like, I think that doesn't. Okay, I'm probably going to get booed a lot on this one, but I think that has more to show about the ACC and the level of competition in the ACC versus how good Duke actually is. Did we ever think about that? Did we ever look at that? Because I mean, we were talking about it in football with the football season too, that the ACC was a joke. After, um, what else did we talk about? We also talked about after BYU had lost and Arizona had lost their second, and then this is when Texas Tech started to take control in the regular seedings and stuff. We also talked about how much the Big 12 was a joke as well, and how it was SEC or Big 10. Um, and I don't know. I kind of, why am I bringing this up? Because I think that last year's basketball, we were, yeah, in February and March, and what was one of the loudest things? SEC basketball. Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, Bama, um, who else? Kentucky too, because Kentucky's always in that conversation. Like all of these teams were just kicking ass, and they were doing really good. And then an SEC team ended up winning the national championship. If we have back-to-back SEC schools win it, I ooh, and Arkansas. Arkansas was also in that debate a little bit too because of Calipari. Um, I don't know. I'd have to say maybe Vandy could be that team. I don't know. I'm gonna be stupid. I'm gonna pick Nebraska though, and I could it's stupid, but okay. So look at that. The South is done. I think Houston goes on a redemption tour. I've been leaning this way for a little bit now, where Houston, I don't know, just something tells me Houston has a redemption tour waiting for them, just because they get so close every time. Houston right now, with the last 3-4 seasons, I would say Houston right now is what Gonzaga has been probably since, I don't know, 2016, 2017, where Gonzaga's always in the mix, but they just come up just short. Um, let's go over here. I'll take Iowa. I'm gonna be stupid. I'm gonna take no. I don't. Oh, I don't like this. Here, let me do here. I'm gonna pick Miami, Ohio, and then when Miami, Ohio, and Tennessee play, I want to still pick Miami, Ohio, because I want to see Miami, Ohio get all the way to at least here, and then I want to see Miami, Ohio get into the elite, yeah, the Elite Eight. I'd love to see that. Just considering all the naysayers and all the haters that have followed him all freaking season because it's been ridiculous. Um, now, hold on. Hold on, I've gone way too fast. If Texas Tech was healthy, I'm taking Texas Tech here and here, but they're not. So I'm going to take Bama. Well, I feel like this one could be chalk. This one could be either one. I don't know. Damn, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't like. I don't like either pick. I don't like either of them. Shit. Shit. I backed myself into a corner. Let's do. Yeah, Michigan, Texas. Uh huh. You know, I'm just gonna be smart. There you go. There we go. Let's just keep it smart. Keep it smart. Not be stupid. I could see Kentucky totally blow it though. That's the other funny thing too. I've watched college basketball long enough to know that this ranking right next to them means absolutely nothing. They could blow it. Same with guilty this team right here too. Um, I don't think Utah State would be the team to beat them though. So we'll get back to it though. And again, also, even though we are 30 minutes into yapping about this, this is not like my official one. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a prediction and then I'm gonna sit on it for a little bit. Because the second I end this stream, I'm gonna be like, why the hell did I pick Nebraska? Why? And then like reality's gonna set in a little bit and go, you dummy, why did you have Tennessee going all the way to the Sweet 16 or something like that? Yeah, I feel like the South and the Midwest those two were a little bit easier to predict. And again, if you've missed it, whoever comes out of the East, I think, is going to win it all, just because of how battle tested they will be by the time it's all said and done. All right, let's continue. I think Wisconsin's going to be High Point. I think Arkansas, Texas. I'll take BYU. Give me the Cougs. Give me Gonzaga. Give me Miami and give me Purdue. Okay, this is where this gets fun. Give me Purdue, but then here, give me Gonzaga. BYU, no Richie, no dice. I think if Richie Saunders was healthy, I think BYU would be just fine. But I think health, when we're getting into this part of the tournament and we keep going a little bit longer, healthy guys matter. And having healthy squads ready to go. I mean, yeah. Okay, then Gonzaga and Purdue, I'm going to be an idiot and pick Gonzaga, which, whoops, I just jinxed your bracket, Gonzaga. Sorry about that. Doesn't matter who wins this one because they're going to be Arizona. This is where I think Arizona falls. And then this is where we have a little bit of a, Coach Few or Coach Calipari. I don't know. Let me sit on it for a little bit and then we'll come back. Because I've seen Arizona be a 1 seed and a 2 seed way too many times, and I've seen them just melt. Duke, though, I'm going to play it safe here. I'm going to pick St. John's, and then I'm going to pick St. John's, which, whoops. I'm trying to think how far previous number one overall seeds have gotten. Um, the other crazy thing that I'm thinking of too. Anybody remember how the 2023 March Madness bracket went, where we had Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, Miami, UConn, where after all the madness happened, and then we got to the Final Four, there was like a clear winner. It's like, okay, the best team here, it's UConn, everybody else, and then who the remaining Final Four teams were. With my statement about the East being the best, I can see, okay, someone takes out Arizona and someone takes out Purdue, it's anybody's for grabs. It seriously is. Where, yeah, we could have we gotta have a 4 seed Arkansas team going to the Final Four or something like that. I don't actually know. But with how, like, kind of a feeling I'm sort of getting is if all these big teams take each other out, where Ohio State takes out Duke, South Florida takes out Michigan, UCLA takes out, we'll have like UCLA, Arkansas, Houston, and then down here, like, let's say Virginia, a 3 seed Virginia, or an injured Texas Tech, or a 1 seed. Like, we'll have Houston and Michigan. We'll have a 1 and a 2 seed, and then above them we'll have like a 5 seed Wisconsin or a 7 seed UCLA, something like that, where it's like, okay, we have two huge, like, gauntlet. These teams should win. They're perennial powerhouses. Then it's like, oh, we have our cute little Cinderella, Loyola Chicago's on both sides playing each other. I don't freaking know. And now I feel, oh, I don't like any of these, because I leaned way too hard on St. John's last season, and it bit me in the ass. I'm leaning way too hard on Michigan State too, because what if, because this rematch is not happening. There is no way in hell this is happening, because I don't see. I don't know. You know, it's fun. I don't know. Frick. I don't. Frick. Frick. I don't know. Duke. Because Purdue and UConn were the number one overalls in 2024. Let me go. Hold on. Let me go look. Let's go look at recent history. 24. So UConn was the number one over rankings. Okay, UConn was the number one overall. Okay, and then what about 2022? Gonzaga. Gonzaga was a 1 seed. Oh, could it have been? Oh, why? Hold on. No, it might have been. Was it Kansas? No, let me hold on. Oh, let's look at rankings. That's when it's going to help us. Let's look at overall. I want to see just like the history of how overall number 1 seeds go, because sometimes it's like you don't want to be touted the number 1 overall, because it's like, whoops. Standings, rankings. Okay, so Duke is the number 1 overall. Okay, I figured. I don't think this changes, even with Purdue winning the Big Ten, Arkansas winning the SEC, St. John's winning the Big East. Um, let's go 24. It was, huh? Oh, don't give me that shit. Come on. No, it wasn't Duke. Duke was not the number one overall. It was Auburn. That what? Yeah, 20. Maybe it was Duke. Because, Cooper Flag and, again, the 5 other starters that got drafted into the NBA. I could have sworn. I could have sworn Auburn was the number one overall, and then Duke. And I thought St. John's was maybe a little higher. Okay, let's go back to 22. No. Let's go. Bama. Yes, I remember Bama being the number one overall because they lost to. Who did they lose to? Because there was a moment there where it's like, holy shit, we might have Clemson versus Bama in the final, and it's like, what the hell? This is football. Who did Bama? Bama lost to San Diego State. Yes, and then San Diego State went all the way to the freaking final. Again, this tournament was freaking crazy. There was a lot of crazy upsets in this one. So Bama, no. Let's go back to week 20. Gonzaga was the number one overall. Arizona was the number 2 overall. Kansas, Baylor, Tennessee, Villanova. Kansas was the 3. They ended up winning it all. I remember that Illinois squad. I was an idiot. Okay, y'all want to know how silly I was? I predicted Illinois versus Michigan in the final that year. Bad take. Bad take. Do not talk ball ever again. Also, where's Georgetown? Georgetown won the Big East that year. That's funny. Okay. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Okay. So last year, Duke was the number 1 overall. Okay. They went to the final and lost. No, they lost in the semifinal. The year before, UConn was the number 1 overall. They won the whole damn thing. And that was their second year of back-to-backs. And then the year before that, Bama. Yes, because UConn, here's the other thing too, is UConn was overlooked because they played Iona that year. And then we didn't, at least for me personally, because I remember watching a video going, oh shit. When we realized, okay, UConn is the real deal, is after they whooped Gonzaga. And sure enough, look at that, 82-54. Because again, I thought, yeah, UConn is going to beat Iona. They're going to beat St. Mary's. And then I think I had them losing to Kansas. And then I had Kansas versus Gonzaga or something stupid like that. Because I remember distinctly that year, I said the winner of this is going to go to, because this is when UCLA still had Tiger Campbell, Johnny Juzang. Like the UCLA squad was still pretty stacked, and then the Gonzaga squad, they weren't any slouch either. Like they were good. And I said, okay, whoever wins this is probably going to play Kansas. I either picked Kansas or UConn. I can't remember, but then here comes the train, the UConn train, 65-88, 55-70, 54-82. Like they just dominated. 59-72. And then 76-53. Like this game was over by half. Like I think this UConn squad was, I think this one was a little bit more impressive than their 24, even though it was their back-to-back, and it's hard to go back-to-back. But I think it is more impressive because of who they went through to get there. They went through the team. Oh gosh, the coach there at Arkansas too, he's not there anymore. I can't remember his name, but like, yeah, Arkansas caught fire, and they were the team where it's like, oh shit, here we go, here comes Arkansas, and UConn just went, you're done, you're done, and then here's where Duke exited that round. So again, I'm a little, when I look at this Duke squad, I'm like, I'm a little skeptical. Okay, so then Bama. Let's go a little further back. Gonzaga. We don't want to talk about this one because this one's, oh no, not this one. It was the 19th. So then Gonzaga went back to back number one overall. This one was sad. This dude, yeah, like Florida State, Dayton, Kansas. Yeah. I have a feeling I kind of buy into that hype train of this could have been the year Dayton won it. Like a non traditional team winning it. 18, let's go to 8. I think Villanova. Oh gosh. No way. Okay. Duke was the number. And then this Duke squad was Zion Williamson. They lost to Purdue, I think. They lost to the Purdue or LSU. Let me go look. Let me go look. Oh! They lost to Michigan State. Never mind. Who? What? Oh, not me thinking LSU. Sorry, people. I do not know ball. Do not look at me. I do not know ball. And then Virginia, yes, because this was the year the number one overall Virginia voice crack lost to UMBC. Xavier, Michigan, Duke, Gonzaga. Oh my gosh. Dude, it's like looking at a time capsule. It's freaking crazy. So then here we go. Yeah, Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Florida. Oh, it has. Oh, we have the chance to do the funniest thing where, yeah, they lose to freaking Siena. Because again, their resume, very impressive. Like, they have all the accolades of ranked wins, least amount of losses. They caught fire at the right time, win the ACC, and then you go play some team where it's like, who? And then all of a sudden it's like, bam. This is when Siena becomes historic because you took down the Duke. I don't know about St. John's though. So again, yeah, whoever, whether it's St. John's, whether it's Duke, whether it's UConn, whoever the hell it is, whoever the hell comes out of, and I'm not going to chalk it up to ones either. I think there's too much March Madness that needs to happen for it to be chalked for ones as well. The thing is, I haven't watched enough basketball either to be like. I haven't watched enough basketball because last year I watched a handful of Duke games and Auburn games, and who else? I think no. Damn pop-ups. Duke. Not Florida. I thought Auburn was gonna. Was it Bama? But I'd watched enough Duke games, Auburn games, St. John's game, and Bama games where I was like, you know what? I could see the ones go pretty far, but no one thought chalk would happen. No one. Okay, get out of that. Okay, back to it. If Duke, if St. John's plays Duke like how they, the other thing too with the bracket, because there are some criticisms that I did have towards it. To have UConn, the team that you beat in the final, to have them be ranked higher, I think was also kind of, okay, what the hell? What the hell is going on with these rankings? Because I think if St. John's plays like Duke, how they played UConn the other day, St. John's is winning this. In a best of 3 series, I don't know who would take this one, but again, whoever takes it, they're winning the whole damn thing. I'll take. I don't like it. I do not like it one bit. I will take Duke, and then out of Duke and UConn, I will. I don't like it. I'll take UConn. And then let me double check. Yeah, whoever wins this is beating Arizona. Oh man, now I can't even. Ooh, okay, here we are. We got some 2 seeds and we got a 1 and a 4. I feel so dumb. There's no way Michigan is winning at all. There's no way. I need to go watch. I don't like it. I Michigan is good. The thing is Michigan is so good. I know they lost today and they gave away the lead and then they let Purdue build the lead and then they fought back a little bit for it. And then out of UConn and Houston couldn't even beat Arizona. Oh my gosh, I don't. Okay, quit it. One of these. Redemption all the way? No. Dude, I have no freaking clue. I have no freaking clue. I have no clue. Because if Duke. Yeah, well. Huh. That one looks interesting. That one looks very interesting. What if... Because Houston is no stranger to the Final Four or the Elite Eight. Wow. Oh, I didn't even pick a winner down here. Let me pick Iowa State. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. I don't like it. How many total points will we scored in this game? Over 100. Over 130. I don't know. could see both teams scoring 60 to 70 points. Damn. Is that what it's going to be? That's probably what it's going to be, guys. I don't know. I think I can't go back on that East thing though. I think whoever, as much as I would love to see and how probable it actually really is for Houston to have a comeback and a redemption season, considering how last year ended in the final. The other thing too, okay, watch this, is, okay, let's say Nebraska, let's say Vanderbilt gets past Nebraska, okay, and then we have Florida versus Vanderbilt, a rematch. Florida smacks them around because they got smacked around first. Look at that, we have a rematch of last year's final, and this is where I think Houston could get that redemption of, hey, you embarrassed us. You know, we also embarrassed ourselves, because didn't Houston recover a lead and then blow a lead? I forget. I'll have to double check and look it up. I don't know if they pulled a Warriors where they came back from a 3-1 deficit and then blew a 3-1 deficit. Like, I don't, because they had the comeback against Duke, and then weren't they up by like 8, and then they blew it against Florida, but not as bad as the North Carolina. Oh my gosh, that the 22 national championship was a fun one, with Kansas winning it all, because again, I think historically the biggest comeback in the history, wasn't it at one point 16 points, because North Carolina was just putting it on them, and then yeah, they chipped away, and then but not 16 at the half, 16 with, like, I don't know, 4 minutes to go, and then they make it like a 11-point deficit, 12-point deficit at half. It was something around there. Maybe it wasn't 16 points. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. It was just like 12 or 15. I don't know, but I think that was the biggest comeback of all time in the history. The other thing too is, I don't think any seed past an 11 seed has ever won the whole thing. I think the highest seed is an 8 seed, and that was the Villanova year. The highest double-digit seed is an 11 seed that has gotten to the Final Four. Which team could be the next to do that? I don't even need to say it. Give me Miami, Ohio. I'll be real though. I think parts of, you know what? No, I'm gonna stick to my guns. Yep. I'm gonna stick to Miami, Ohio. I really think, I don't know. I do kind of have a feeling that Miami, Ohio got shafted a little bit. And then also, St. Louis too, because St. Louis had a good year, and then it's like you lost on, which the ending to the St. Louis final, that was freaking crazy too. Which I like when basketball games end like that, where they let it play out, they don't foul each other. I also saw the Lehigh thing, where Lehigh has the chance to do the funniest thing against the number 1 seed, because wasn't it in 2012 when the last time Lehigh was in the final, didn't Lehigh beat the number 1 seed Duke? They were number 1 in that bracket. So yeah, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know anything else, guys. I think this is it. This is where I'll put everybody for now. I thank you guys for watching whenever you did start watching, whether if you're watching live or watch this on a rerun. Yeah, this is who I got, guys. I think I like this Florida versus Houston. I like it a little more. Vanderbilt or Nebraska, you can pick and choose whichever. Because I'm liking the Florida Houston rematch in the Elite Eight, um, in the South. I'm actually liking that a lot. I'm liking I don't even want to address this elephant. Now here's what is so funny about this whole prediction thing is if Arizona shit. If Arizona wins the whole thing, I'll have to make a video and say sorry and just eat my words. But like Arizona, I feel the same way with Sparty too, because Sparty, Michigan State was the 2 seed in 2015, and I let me, in fact, let me freaking look it up. Let me freaking look it up. Michigan State. Oh, actually, let's just do 2015. It was either 2015 or 2016. Let's double check here. Oh, don't give me that. Where's the real stuff? Where's the other? I like the official bracket. There we go. That one looks a little better. Oregon as a 1 seed. Wow, that looks. Dude, Michigan State's not even in this. What the hell? Oh, there they are. There they are. Yep, there they freaking are. Again, I distinctly remember sitting in the back of whoever the hell's class it was. I was sitting. It was either like a computer class or typing class or home economics or whatever the shit the class was. Dude, I don't remember. It was one of those electives that you have to take in high school. I distinctly remember sitting in the back of the class, and there was kind of a subtle "oh" in the class right after Michigan State lost, because nobody was listening to the sub. Like there was a sub, or the teacher was just chill enough to the point where, yeah, I think shit. I even think we might have even because with how the timing was, you know, we could have been watching the Duke game, could have been on the big screen or something, or maybe the Gonzaga Seton Hall game or whatever. No, it definitely was the Utah Fresno game. Now that I'm thinking about it, okay, because wasn't one of these years Weber State was also in it too, or BYU. Anyways, oh hey, there's Fairleigh Dickinson, Farley, you know. It's like they know a thing or two about beating 1 seeds. But yeah, Purdue, Virginia, any of these 1 seeds, it would not surprise me if Michigan laid an egg, Duke laid an egg, Arizona laid an egg, because we've seen Arizona lay an egg. We saw them lose to Princeton. We saw Virginia lose to Furman. Would not be surprised one freaking bit, because that's just how crazy March Madness is. But again, with Sparty, because how the confidence I feel in Sparty or whatever, because I distinctly remember sitting in the back of class, because we jokingly, I think we all made a bracket or whatever, and I was a dumbass reading into the hype, just like how I read too much into like the Lonzo Ball hype. Because don't go look at my 2017 brackets, because I think I had Villanova, UCLA. Don't look at them, please don't. But I think I had Michigan going all the way that year, and then there was just because they freaking lost to Middle Tennessee. I distinctly, I think that was the first experience that I can remember March Madness wise, of like watching games and like, oh, look how fun. But like making brackets and having fun and shooting the shit and whatnot. I think that's the first year I ever made a bracket, and like to watch, because I think because I do this every year. I think coming back to it, I think I would have had Villanova, Villanova in this bracket, North Carolina in this bracket, Michigan State in this bracket because I would have had them beaten. But yeah, probably would have chalked it all the way up. And then I think I had Oregon, Villanova, North Carolina, and Michigan State in my Final Four. I think I don't know. We could find it somewhere, posted deep on social media. But yeah, I distinctly remember watching my bracket just bust into a million pieces right there. And then also the other one was in 2 years ago, I had Wisconsin going pretty freaking far, and then they lost to NC State, and it's like, well, shit. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, do not look at this bracket and go, oh, I'm putting the house on it. Don't do that. Do not do that because this is a bad. This is bad. This has bad written all over it. This has Arkansas losing to Arizona. This has Michigan slipping up and losing to Tennessee somewhere or Texas Tech. They just it's bad. It's bad. So this will be my fun first bracket that I make. Let me sit on it for a little bit and make some more fun predictions. I got to do a football one. Let's do a football one real quick. But again, lock it in. This is my take a little mental picture. This will be my first one. Okay, where yeah, UConn and Michigan play, and because just with how stacked the East is, UConn comes out of the East, they win it all. Yeah, and if not UConn, then Michigan, because I would love to see, having watched Michigan come up short a handful of times, it'd be cool. Let's do a football one real quick just for shits and giggles, and then we'll get out of here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, this is a damn good matchup. I'm gonna take Miller Moss in Louisville, which I think Louisville actually played South Florida in football this year. Give me UCLA. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is so bad. Ooh. It doesn't even matter. Okay, football. Ooh, we got ourselves a doozy here. The Cougars against. Now, is this before or after the? Never mind. No, give me Miami. Shit. None of it. It doesn't even matter. None of these teams had a good year. I'll take. Give me Arizona. You know what? They're the most successful 4 or 5 win team. Give me Wisconsin, and then give me a hell of an upset, and then Miami just throttles them. Oh my gosh, get out of here! I don't even want to look at it. These two teams were. Oh, we just found our winner probably of this side. Unless Dylan Raiola has something to say about it, actually, he's not even there anymore. If this is in the middle of the 2025 season, so he technically would still be there. North Carolina, Illinois. Oh my gosh, actually, no, never mind. Hold on. Because Vandy could Vanderbilt have beaten Yes. Quit thinking about it. Yes, Vanderbilt could have beaten Clemson, but Vanderbilt would not have beaten Texas A&M. Yes. Bama, Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, Iowa State. Oh, I'll take Iowa State. I'll take Virginia, and then out of these two, oh, give me Tennessee. Give me. Are we? What? Well, which Bama are we seeing? Are we seeing Bama in the SEC championship against Georgia? Or are we seeing Alabama when they came back from 17 against Oklahoma? Because depending on which version of Bama we get, and seeing what Texas Tech did to BYU, and then turn around and doing the Orange Bowl, there's parts of me where it's like, this is Bama. There's no question. This is Georgia. Then out of Georgia and Bama, we already know. Well, but it'd be the third time. Tide took it in the regular season. Kirby Smart and the Dogs took it in the SEC championship, and then the rematch. No, you're thinking about it too much. You're already thinking about it too much. Okay. And then we have our little Final Four. That is some good football. That is some freaking good football. Da, 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 da. I would say winner of this wins the national championship. Give me. I mean, Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat Georgia, and Ole Miss almost beat Miami. Give me. We never got to see Georgia versus Miami. I don't know. It's a tough pick. It's a tough pick either way. And then out of Ohio State and Texas A&M, I'm gonna have to take the Buckeyes. And then the Buckeyes and Miami. Let me just pick Miami with how kind of historic Miami's season was last year. And then out of these two, we saw what happened in the Cotton Bowl. Give me the U, baby. And then how many points do they score? I think both of them can at least score 30 points, so 60. Actually, in fact, for the goobers at home, 6-7. All right, anyways, that's a quick, fun football bracket. If you guys like that, we could flip a coin and do another one of those, because I've done those in the past too, where I've just like heads would be the higher seed, tails would be the lower seed, and I've had some fun videos doing that. Anyways, we'll end the stream here though. This would be my football lock if this was a football bracket because again, we've been complaining and we've been talking about why the hell does the college playoff not expand to which, you know what? No. I'll end it here, which I wish I would have liked that post. Is somebody talked about Miami, Ohio making the tournament, if they made the tournament, would be the equivalent of the Akron Zips going 13-0 and making the 12-team playoff. And it's like, yeah, that would be the equivalent. And guess what? If Akron could put together a team and win 13 games and win their conference, guess what? They would be the 12 seed. They would be the 11 seed. They would have been what JMU or Tulane was last year. Because that's the point of those extra teams. Now, with what we saw with what happened to JMU against Oregon and Tulane against Ole Miss, they might restructure it. I think they're slated to restructure it later down the line or something. But I'm still sitting over here thinking, Texas not making it is not because they lost to Ohio State week 1. Texas didn't make it because they got taken to overtime against Kentucky and barely beat Kentucky and barely beat Vanderbilt. That's why. None of this strength of schedule, none of this, it's when you play the games that are in front of you. If you do not win them, that's why what? But like, only time will tell before we sit here and we have a restructured 14 team or a. How many would it be if the first four all sit? Like, if your SEC winner automatically sits, Big Ten winner automatically, ACC, and even Duke, even with how crazy Duke, how we're like they were talking about it, where they're like, there's a doomsday scenario of if Duke wins, they're in the play. If Duke wins the ACC title game, nobody from the ACC is in the big, in the big, the 12 team dance. Like you have the Power Four conferences with ACC, SEC, Big 12, and Big 10. Okay, the winners of those automatically sit, automatically have a bye. Duke would have been the 4 seed because they're the worst ranked, and so they would have just been the 4 automatically. We don't do this. Well, this is what it is, 1 through 12. But then when you structure it and look, um, this 4 seed's actually a 7 seed, kind of like how they did the year before, where Arizona State was the 11th, but they were slated at the 4. We wouldn't do any of that. We would have the first 4, the conference winners. We reward conference play. We reward it. You get to go to the conference championship game. We reward you, win or loss. So automatically, it's kind of already, with the Power Four conferences at that point, it's like, well, then there's kind of already 8 automatic bids in. But again, like if Virginia would have won and with where Duke's record was, they wouldn't have gone. It would have been like, okay, no, you are not an automatic bid, you're out. But like in situations like BYU and Alabama, yes, they would have been in. But you have all 4 of those teams first round buys, which that is kind of how it's already structured and slated. But then like kind of with March Madness, which in fact, let's do the March Madness style. We would have our 1 seed sitting here, our 2 seed, our 3 seed, and our 4 seed. And what would have to happen is 2 teams would play, 2 teams would play, and like the winner of this, does am I making clear? Am I making sense a little bit? Like I've seen the blueprint. Someone did a blueprint of it, where the first, like the top 4 teams, they sit out 2 rounds almost because they're rewarded. Yeah, you won the SEC, you get to sit, and you don't have to play an extra game. Like have, I mean, let's go look at the bracket last year. Oh, 2020. No, not well. 2024. Let's do 2025. My bad. No, we're on the 2026. Whoops. We're on 2026. Oh, well, actually, it's technically 2025. My bad. My bad. Okay. Where we would have an extra. We would have another game right here. I know it says bye, but we'd have 2 more teams, 2 more teams, 2 more teams, and 2 more teams. And then these 2 teams play, these 2 teams play. And then the winner of these teams goes and plays Georgia, because Georgia would have been sitting here. These 2 teams play, these 2 teams play. And then the winner of those 2 teams go play. Oh, switch. So, and that would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, it's a 20-team playoff. Like it looks nasty and it looks ugly, but I think it would get people to just shut the hell up about bubble teams and like, oh, we didn't get to go. We're on the which BYU, Vanderbilt, Texas, Notre Dame, they all have cases to make on like this is why they should have gotten in. But like, I don't know, because at the end of the day, even if you add more teams, Indiana's still winning it because that's how good they were. So I don't know. It's still a work in progress. 8, truthfully, 8 is lukewarm. Like 8 8 is kind of that perfect. You reward conference winners, obviously, because that's the other hot button. But then, not only that is after you do your conference winners, you then do at larges from there on out. Which again, the 9 seed and the 10 seed would be like, oh, we could have, we could have. We're better. We have a better strength of schedule or something. Because again, what this past season kind of showed with the 10 seed Miami is an extended bracket is great, and the great part is Miami, but then where it's kind of like ugh is watching Tulane get whooped by Ole Miss or James. This score, this game was over by halftime. Even though James Madison came back when Oregon already sat their starters, and then even with Texas Tech, who was the 4 who won their Big 12, they got to sit for a week. Big old goose egg. Now, Baron Morton did also throw a couple interceptions in that game, but look at what Indy did to Alabama. Now, Ty Simpson was injured in the second half, but look at what Indy did to Alabama. Look at what Miami did to Ohio State. So, right now, where it sits, I think 12 is perfect. But again, don't be surprised if in 3 more years, 4 more years, they extend it a little bit more to fit. Like, where would you fit Texas in here, or Vandy, or anyways. That's enough of me yapping. This has been a fun stream, guys. I've talked way too much sports, so I'm gonna go get some quick bite. Tune in later. I might give my reaction to the Oscars. No, I'm not going to. I've already done my stream. I've already done my stream for that. But I thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to my jokes. Again, nothing too serious. This is just me going over some of the games. Stay tuned for an official prediction. I gotta watch some. For example, the Vanderbilt Arkansas game. I missed it. I don't know how it actually went. I want to see what Florida looked like during this tournament. Go over some of that, and then I'll try to come back and, I would love to actually do. I'll be honest. Like, I would love to look at some things and go, like, okay, here are my 2 teams that I think could win the South, and pick Houston and be like, this is why. Go through it. Or this is a dark horse that I have for the South. It's like Vanderbilt. Why do I have Vanderbilt as a dark horse in the South? Well, if you watch the SEC tournament and you saw how they, offensive rebounds, how they shot the 3 ball, blah blah blah. I could do something like that, because I'm not. Well, I could also do a video where let's go by each seeding, where it's like, let's take all the number 1s: Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Florida. It's like, okay, which one's the best? It's like, I'll pick Michigan. Okay, let's do the 2 seeds. Who's the best? I'll pick. We could do a fun video like that. Or who gets out first? I'm thinking of video ideas right now, where out of all the 1 seeds, Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida, who gets out first? Arizona, or something like that. But anyways, guys, I thank you for hanging out with me. Let the clips roll and the credits roll, but I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next stream.